So let's look now at report generation in our schematic reporting project. What I've got here is a typical three-phase circuit. And we're going to look at some of the other methods of generating reports. So again, we're in our reports panel here. So there's our panel, reports, and it's the reports tab on the ribbon. Now, remember though, you're generating reports, so you might need your drawing to be added to your project. So select your project, right click, add active drawing, and yes to the project default values. Now you'll see there, look, it's adding drawing 10. We don't want drawing 10, we want drawing 2. So it's a right click, properties, drawing properties, and we change the sheet value there to 02, just to make sure they're sequential. I'll OK that there, that updates the project. Now, let's have a look now at these reports. If I click on reports, again, we get the panel reports dialog box. Now you'll notice there we've got component exception, terminal exception. Let's have a look at component exception first. What does that do? Well, what it's doing is it's filtering information in the drawing. We're going to do the active drawing rather than the whole project, otherwise it will give us loads of data and take longer to generate that data. We don't want that. This is a training exercise. If you were doing it in the real world, yes, you'd do project, obviously. Conditions for report: panel item not on schematics, schematic item not on panels, and so on. We're going to go for all of those conditions so that we see all of the filters that come through on our report. We'll go for all installation codes and all location codes. So if I now OK that, you'll see there that we get a little dialog saying report, panel schematic exception. So you can see there M1, Q1, F1, not on panel. So let's display that report in a report format. There it is there. So those are our tag names on the drawing. So if I just drag that down there for the moment, as you can see, look, there's F1, Q1, and M1. And they're not on the panel. They're not linked to anything, basically. That's what it's telling you. But the good thing is I can put that on my drawing, or I can save it to a file. If I save it to a file, I can save it as ASCII code, an Excel spreadsheet, an Access database format, XML, or CSV. I'm not going to save it as any of those right now. What I'm going to do is put it on the drawing. Now, table generation. I'm not going to worry about any of that. We'll look at that later. I'm just going to hit OK. And there it is there. I'll click there. And there's my table. I'll close that, and it's in there like so. So if I have a look at that and just zoom out slightly, you can see there, tag name, comment, schematic, file name, and so on. So it's generated a file for this called report generator. That's because we're in our report generator drawing. So that's how your report generator works. You go into reports, first of all, like so. You select your report name, and you run it, and then it will give you the option to display that using your report generator, and you can generate your report and put it on the drawing like I've done, or save it to a particular file type, let's say a database file, an Access database file, an MDB file, or an Excel file, for example. It all depends on the environment in which you're working. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail there because it all depends on what you do within your job, within your role, within your company. But you can see there's lots of ways and means of generating reports using the report generator in AutoCAD Electrical 2010.